Hey everybody, welcome to Nerd Overload, the pop and geek culture show that was nerds all along. I'm Josh.
I'm Sam, and Cody is gone, so we called in a ringer. That's right. Jordan Taylor is back on the show.
Hey
Jordan,
everybody.
Thank you for coming back on the show.
You're welcome. Happy to be here.
All right. Yeah, happy to have you. So, we're going to go ahead and jump into the show here. We have a bunch of news to go over. A lot of, comic book movie stuff. Movies and shows and stuff like that to talk about. But first, let's get into some things we have been checking out.
Check it out!
Everybody does the dance.
It's a good dance, Brent.
All right. So, yeah, some things we've been doing this week. Let's start with our guest. Jordan, what have you been doing?
Last weekend, I burned through the first season of Bridgerton.
Yes, I watched the first handful of episodes, couple episodes at least.
Yeah. It's, I can see the hype. It's pretty good.
Yeah, so this is a Regency-era story kind of thing?
Yes, it is a Netflix original that is based on a book series by the rather prolific author Julia Quinn, I believe is her name. And it's pretty good. It's like Jane Austen type stories, but with more intrigue and
they're a little
shenanigans.
racier.
It's racier for sure.
Yeah.
Little,
yeah, it is.
as they say in the romance novel world, it's a little spicy.
Yeah, so it's the couple episodes that I watched with you, they seemed really cool. Regency-era stuff is not especially my jam typically, but I get it.
I don't know, I absolutely love Pride and Prejudice.
Right? It's so good. Have you seen Persuasion? Also good.
No. I've watched, I think, every version of Pride and Prejudice.
Nice.
Including Bridget Jones's Diary.
Uh-huh.
Oh, sure.
Yep.
And I've seen, what's the one with something Bridge?
Burton.
No. There's another title that's A Sense and Sensibility. That's a good one.
Yep, that's a good one.
Yeah.
The one with Emma Thompson in it is probably the best Sense and Sensibility.
Yeah.
Kate Winslet, yeah.
Yep. Persuasion has what's her name from
Shape of Water.
Shape of Water lady.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is there
not the Gill Man?
Well, obviously not, because the Gill Man is friend of the show, Doug Jones.
Right, but I was actually going to say just the Gill Man. It's a Regency-era Gill Man show.
You know, okay.
It's a Gill Man with just a cravat.
Now I want to watch some kind of period piece with like Universal movie monsters.
Oh, that would be so good.
That would be an interesting crossover, actually.
Yes. Oh.
Frankenstein's monster trying to do like a waltz or something.
What say you, Mr. Frankenstein? Oh, he's so mysterious.
Oh, he's putting on the Ritz.
Excellent.
Bravo.
Yes.
Bravo.
Well, there was that book series where they made a bunch of Regency-era things into horror things.
That's only the one.
Oh, yeah, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. There was...
No, there's Sense and Sensibility and Sea Monsters.
Oh, I forgot about that one, too.
Yep.
There's also Android Karina.
Yes.
Which isn't Regency, but it was that same guy who took classic novels and made them weird.
Well, then they also made... it was the same guy that did Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Yes.
Which I own that book.
I read that book. I don't read many books, but I read that book from cover to cover.
The funny part about that book is when they have all the historical photos in the middle, and they photoshopped in like fangs and stuff on like different Confederate officers and Robert E. Lee and stuff.
There's like a Nosferatu in the background somewhere.
Yeah.
Nice.
I remember seeing that movie in theaters.
Yeah, I did too.
There was a really cool fight scene on the train where he's like whipping the axe around or whatever.
That movie wasn't too bad.
It's schlocky, but it's fun.
Oh, it's the good kind of schlock.
Yeah,
though. It's the good kind of trash.
Yeah. Of course, about that same time though is when the Daniel Day-Lewis Lincoln movie came out.
Oh yeah,
which is a very good movie, but also because it's a historical biopic, it's also kind of boring.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of Daniel Day-Lewis's jam, though.
Yeah, it's getting hard into.
I like the actor, but everything he does seems to be very droll.
Oh yeah,
like
it's dry.
There will be blood.
Yeah,
I drink your milkshake.
I'm the big boss man.
I'm the big boss man.
Other than that, the Duolingo bird has been hassling me a lot because I've been learning Japanese.
Oh, yeah? You think you're turning Japanese? You really think so?
I was about to make the joke. Yeah. Good
Very
stuff.
Nice. Very nice. No, I went to Japan a couple months ago and learned some Japanese before I went on my trip. And it felt like, a part
you wanted
of
to keep going?
Yeah, it felt like a part of my brain I hadn't used in a while when I was trying to learn a language, which I haven't done since, high school or college or whatever.
I'm the same way. I learned like one Japanese phrase. Nihongo wa hanashimasen, if I remember right. Which basically translated is I don't speak much Japanese. I thought it was a very important phrase to know.
I mean, that's a pretty good one. Between that and where's the restroom, I think you get those two.
Something toilet or
yeah.
It's weird. The Japanese language is weird because they don't have words for a lot of things. So you kind of get like the Japanese English of words.
Yeah, there's a term for that. We looked that up. I forget what that was called. Yeah. But there was like a word, like it's an English word and it has a sort of Japanese pronunciation for more modern
something
stuff
like that.
Helicopter, elevator.
Hotel.
Yeah, a lot of things like that. Which is weird because Japan's always had like hotel-ish things.
Right, so there probably was a word for like inn or something.
Inn or tavern or way house or something.
Yeah.
Well, you started learning Japanese with an old PBS show from Atlanta, right? The Irashi?
Yeah, I don't think it was ever on PBS, but it was like a public access
style
show.
Thing.
It was just this guy that his mom is Japanese and he wanted people to learn about Japan and its culture and stuff. And so he's had this little public access show. It's pretty cute. Like, I mean, it's hokey, but
incredibly hokey.
There is a lady on TikTok that talks about things that you can and cannot do in Japan. It's very interesting stuff.
Yeah, the cultural stuff I thought was really interesting too. I watched a lot of that before I went over there. But
like, I didn't realize like if you have tattoos and you go into a bathhouse, you have to cover them up.
Yep, most of the time, yeah. Yeah, most people don't
get tattoos.
They don't eat in public. Like you don't. If you get a snack, you would like eat it right outside the place you bought it and then throw your trash away. You don't like walk around eating a snack or drinking a pop or whatever. Like, which was interesting. It's hard to find trash cans.
But also, like, their recycling stuff is very stringent.
Oh, Tokyo is the cleanest city I've ever seen. It was really amazing, actually, because I went to New York last year and
I've heard New York is disgusting.
New York smells like a dumpster.
It's not great. I went a number of years ago as well, and yeah, it's not.
I remember when I went to Washington, D.C. in middle school, and I remember, like, two things. The smell and the homeless population.
Yep. That was pretty much how New York was last year. So, yeah. Japan was cool. Obviously, it's
culture shock.
Yeah, but in a cool way. It was interesting stuff. On our trip, we also went to Korea because I have a friend that lives there. And so it was interesting to see the cultural differences between those two countries also, especially like, back to back like that. It was really interesting. Korea had all of these unmanned convenience stores, which you just go in and there's a self-checkout and you get whatever and you check yourself out and
so
you leave.
So it's very much an honor system kind of thing?
Yeah, people like don't steal. Like my friend would leave her stroller outside a store and like take her kid in and then like her stuff would just be still there when we came out.
I've heard Japan also has a very, very low petty crime rate.
I mean, Japan was, people talk about Japan being very polite and I did find that to be true. Like,
even though you're a foreigner and they tend to feel kind of weird about foreigners.
Yeah, and it wasn't like people are shoving you to get on the subway or something like you might find.
Oh yeah, I remember reading like they're very much about personal space and not touching. Yeah. Outside of the times you hear about, bad stuff, but anyway.
Sure, but yeah. So that was my big adventure for the summer.
All right. Well, there was something else that you guys both checked out at different times, and I specifically wanted to get Jordan on the show so you guys can discuss it.
That's right.
I am almost illiterate with the amount of reading that I do, but you both read a book.
We did.
Yes, we both read a book. So welcome to the Nerd Overload Book Club.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So Jordan and I both read Legends and Lattes, a high fantasy, low stakes novel about an adventurer who gets jaded with adventuring and decides that she wants to open a coffee shop.
Yeah.
which is something virtually unheard of in, well, one, coffee is unheard of in fantasy in general. And this one is like, she saw it in a city and nobody really knows about it. And so she's passionate about it.
Yeah. It was really good. I actually picked it up because I thought it would be one of those things that's like, hokey, but still enjoyable. But the book was legitimately so good.
Yeah. Like there's so many heartwarming moments, even from characters you didn't expect to be kind of heartwarming.
Yeah.
Like the Madrigal and their group of petty criminals.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really good. She has a cat that's like the size of a wolf that sort of...
Yeah, she has a dire cat.
Yeah, nice. Shows up in the shop and decides it lives there now. And
much like how you adopt a cat.
Basically how cats are, yeah. Yeah.
Though I wish there would have been a payoff on the old man gnome playing chess.
Yeah.
He's so cryptic.
Yeah.
So there's this part where they notice this gnome who shows up all the time and sits on the front porch of their coffee shop, plays chess by himself, and the other half moves. But they kind of allude that it's a chess game he started in the past or the future, and he's in the past. Like he might be like a time traveler because he keeps making weird references. It's hard to talk about a lot of stuff with the book without spoiling the entire book.
Yeah.
But it's a very good book.
Yes, if you like that sort of thing, I would say highly recommended. There's a prequel out now too that's called Bookshops and Bone Dust.
Oh, I didn't realize that was a prequel. I thought it was a sequel.
No, I believe it does come from it happens before the coffee shop, same character, but when I think it's the story of what makes her decide to stop adventuring.
When I read the book, there is the prologue in the back of the book about her learning about the stalwart heart and the magical MacGuffin in the book.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And her adventuring party in this gnomish city when she first discovers coffee.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe that's part of the prequel then also.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I read it in the back of that book.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I have the other one, but I haven't started it yet. But I'm looking forward to it.
I keep meaning to go to the local library and pick it up because that's where I picked up Legends and Lattes.
Yeah, I would pretty much read anything that this person writes at this point because it was I think Legends and Lattes was his first full novel.
Yeah, he talks about in his acknowledgments and stuff like, this started out kind of as like a joke, and then people pushed me to like, and then like his writing friends and stuff would be like, hey, you should really write a book.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the best way to start writing a novel. It's just like, I have this kind of fun idea, just kind of noodling around, and next thing you know, you have a book.
Yeah, people are basically like, no, seriously, I would read that. You should write it.
Yeah. But it's very good. There's a lot of interesting characters.
It's a cool use of like the tropes and stuff of...
without being too much.
Yeah, like it's not too inside or whatever. Like I think you could enjoy it if I haven't played much Dungeons and Dragons, but... I still know enough of it culturally that I understood the references and stuff like that.
Yes. Like there's a hob character, which is kind of a goblinoid. There's a ratling baker. He's like a little rat guy. And
makes cinnamon rolls.
He's a super great baker. And he's such a wholesome little character. I love him.
All right. Excellent.
There's a succubus who is trying to push past the stereotypes of what people think about succubi.
Yeah.
There's just it's just a really good book.
Yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I like books that take genres like that and kind of
turn them
on their head a little bit. Like I've read a lot of, retellings of, Beauty and the Beast, but it's slightly different now, or that sort of
It's kind of like those weird Disney novels that have been coming out.
The ones where they're like the kids of the original people?
No, they've all got like weird like titles. Like I think I saw like a Brave one at the store. They always have like super generic covers, but you can kind of tell what they are.
There's a whole series I read by somebody once that was Mercedes Lackey. That's like
I've heard that.
I was just going to bring this up.
She's a prolific sci-fi fantasy writer, but she did a whole series that I'm blanking on the name of, where it's basically the bones of the story are a fairy tale or like a Greek myth or whatever, and they all sort of intertwine. And a lot of times it's people trying to
kind of like Once Upon a Time-ish kind of thing.
Yeah, but but it was before that show existed. But it's a lot of people trying to like, I don't want to be the hero of this. I want to go do my own thing. And then like the fate subject keeps trying to like push them back into the way it wants the story
I don't
to be
want to
told.
be the destined hero. I just want to bake bread.
I just want to sing.
But Father, I want to sing. Nope, none of that now. That's a Monty Python reference for people.
Yes. Okay, so I have one very quick.
Yeah, that's fine because I've got a bunch more.
Okay, cool. This is going to be very quick. I watched a movie. It came up in my kind of searching for bad old movies.
Which there are a lot of.
Yeah, because Shelley Duvall unfortunately passed away this week. And that's a shame. She did a lot. She did a lot of films. But she was a minor character in a little film called Boltneck. And it is a retelling of sorts of the Frankenstein.
Mary Shelley's Frankenstein
story, but set in a modern day high school setting.
Okay.
Where a guy named, I think his name is like Larry Frank or something like that, is a teen.
Frank Stein.
Yeah. Who notices that these bullies pick on this other guy from school until he accidentally dies. So he brings him back to life because he's been experimenting with stuff, but accidentally put the brain of a serial killer in the teen's body. So they keep thinking that he's going off and murdering people, but he's actually just trying to help the kids out, trying to be a cool guy, but then he also kind of murders a few people.
Oh, well.
Yeah. But the weirdest thing is, this movie stars a lot of famous people. People like Shelley Duvall, of course, Richard Mole, who was Bull from Night Court.
Yeah.
The big tall guy. Charles Fleischer, who is the voice of Roger Rabbit.
Please, Eddie.
Yes. The Judge Reinhold.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Judge Reinhold. Oh, the main character's name is Frank Stein.
Hey, I called it.
Yeah, you got it. So the big leads, Matthew Lawrence.
Okay.
Is Frank Stein, the scientist, and Ryan Reynolds plays the kid who was murdered and brought back with the brain of a murderer back when he was a teen.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he'd been acting that long.
It was one of his first things.
I think Ryan Reynolds might
fine.
be a slight legacy.
Yeah.
I think he might have at least one famous parent.
There might very well could
I don't
be.
remember. I'm really just kind of grasping at straws on that one.
In fact, you know what? I have the Wikipedia pulled up. I can do a quick search. But
he makes decent gin.
And questionable cell phone purchases.
Do you want that cell phone?
Okay, no, he
have a gin and tonic instead.
No, so his father worked for the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. He was a Mountie.
Oh, maybe that's what I read.
Yeah, his mom was worked in retail sales, but he's been acting almost his whole life.
Wow.
From 19 on, basically.
That is interesting.
Well, at least he didn't get into it too young to kind of mess him up.
Yeah, he wasn't like a child actor that grew up in it or anything like that. Well, go ahead, Josh.
All right, so I've got a handful of things I've been doing.
Yeah, let's do it.
I am completely caught up and waiting on the new episodes of My Adventures with Superman.
Oh, cool.
I really like the show.
I watched the first season and I really liked it.
I really like it.
Yeah.
It's got a fun, soft art style. Mm-hmm. Lois does remind me a lot of Luce from the Owl House.
Okay, sure.
Both in look and demeanor.
So this is, it has the action and stuff.
Yes, it does, but it also has a very wholesome core.
It focuses a little bit more on the Clark
human
Kent
aspect
and human aspect of it.
Though the second season has been really ramping up the whole Kryptonian stuff.
Sure.
Because they bring in Kara.
Oh, really?
Brainiac.
Oh, yeah, I did see something about
all kinds of stuff.
Kara Zor-El showing up.
They kind of allude that Kryptonians are almost like Saiyans in the Dragon Ball universe, where they are traveling conquerors.
Okay.
And not this high science society.
And there for a while, that was kind of alluded to a little bit. Oh, that's where the Daxamites come from in the DC universe. The Daxamites are an offshoot of Kryptonians who are weak to lead instead of kryptonite. And also, once they touch lead, they are permanently poisoned and basically they're
messed
done.
Up.
Yeah.
Wow.
There was a Green Lantern who was a Daxamite, and the only thing kept him alive was his Green Lantern ring.
Huh.
It staved off the lead poisoning. Yeah.
Weird.
But yeah, My Adventures of Superman, I really, really enjoy it. It's not like the most expensive looking animation.
No, but it's fine.
Oh no, it's fine. The action is good, but the messages and the things that like Clark says it's so good. And I love their design of Brainiac.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I love it. He's very robot.
Excellent.
That's
the way he
robot.
should be.
And I love it. It's great. I hate the fact that I have to wait every Sunday for new episodes now.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm like back to old TV.
Now that's Jack Quaid is voicing Superman, right? The guy from Lower Decks and a million other things.
Maybe, I don't know. I didn't really look into it.
I think that's who it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so fun. Yeah. I really enjoy it.
Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan.
When Harry Met Sally?
Meg Ryan, yes. Meg Ryan and Dennis Quaid's kid is Jack Quaid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But really enjoying that show. I watched Godzilla Kong New Empire.
Oh,
because that came to Max on July 4th.
How's Kong with his robot arm?
It's kind of more of like it's not so much a robot arm, but more of like an exoskeleton for his arm.
Power glove kind of thing?
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Is that the one that has Baby Kong in it?
Yes.
I keep seeing
well, there's a whole bunch of
Baby
Kongs.
Kong.
There's a whole bunch of Kongs. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how I felt about the movie. It's not a bad movie, but also I won't say that exactly a fantastic movie.
Sure.
But you have that a lot with kaiju style movies.
I loved Godzilla vs. Kong.
Oh yeah, Godzilla vs. Kong was fantastic. Some of the characters from that do come back.
Let them fight.
Pacific Rim is a great kind
I love Pacific Rim.
Yeah,
it's so cheesy and dumb.
It's
delightful. It's one of my favorites.
That soundtrack.
Oh yeah,
is
when
straight
when they're in
bangers.
Hong Kong and and Gypsy Danger is dragging that ship across, and then he wings that and uses it like a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that scene so much. It's so like the
Very,
neon
very good.
lights, the rain, everything. It's such a good scene.
So good.
But anyway, Godzilla Kong, New Empire. So there's this whole thing of like they got to keep Godzilla and Kong separate because they're both kind of alphas, and but Godzilla is the stronger one, and if Kong comes, it'll start a kaiju war or whatever.
But Kong's the smarter one.
Yes.
He uses tools.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the whole beginning of the movie.
Oh,
really?
Kong
is running from a pack of some weird giant monster dogs, and they think he's trapped, and he actually led them into a trap.
Oh, gotcha.
And uses like some Endor-style Ewok traps on these monsters.
Excellent. Yub nub.
And punji traps, swinging logs, all that fun stuff. But the action was good. They bring in the tribe of humans that worship Mothra.
Oh, cool.
They live in the Hollow Earth.
Okay, are they regular-sized people, or
Yes.
they're not the tiny fairy twins?
No.
No.
They are everyone's psychic though.
Okay.
They don't.
Well, that's all right.
They don't speak. They and you never hear what
They
they're
mind. Okay.
No, they don't even mind. They just kind of look at each other.
Oh, okay, but it implies that they're communicating
yes.
with each other.
Like there's little nods, motions, things like that.
Sure.
And then the little girl who came from Skull Island, who I think was in Godzilla vs. Kong.
Mhm.
Yes.
She was.
But yeah, she's back. The kaiju blogger guy who used to work for the Mechagodzilla company is back.
Oh, sure. Yes, I remember that character.
Yeah.
That he was minor, but I remember.
Yeah.
The girl from Shape of Water and Persuasion gets stepped on by Mothra, doesn't she? In the one before that?
I don't know if it's Mothra, but it might be Rodan.
It's when it might be Rodan, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think Mothra actually killed anybody.
Yeah, it's like they wake one of them up and it steps on her.
Yeah. It's been a while since I watched Godzilla vs. Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They do showcase some other kaijus. They're kind of like, they kind of get brought up and mostly on a map.
Yeah, that's what happened in the last one too.
Yeah. But no, I like I said, I won't say it's a bad movie, but I did like it.
Good.
There's a really funny scene when the whole the crescendo of everything that's happening is
Sure.
going on, and Kong comes back up to the surface to bring Godzilla to come help, to lure Godzilla to come help. And he like pops out of the portal or whatever from the Hollow Earth. And Godzilla's like sensing him and like comes after him. And Godzilla's charging at him. And he's like, no. You know, like kind of like time out. And he gets bodied by Godzilla.
Oh, geez. Oh, that's great. That's great.
Like the act, it's so stupid. The visual acting of the giant monsters I felt was superior than the acting from the human characters.
That's pretty normal for those films.
I know. I mean, not everybody can be Ken Watanabe and shooting up scenery and stuff.
Sure.
But
sometimes you have to be kind of walking through it like Millie Bobby Brown or what's his name from Friday Night Lights? That was the dad.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. But yeah. Let's see here. Other stuff I've done. Oh, I've watched like the first 2 episodes of Suicide Squad Isekai.
Oh, the
Suicide Squad anime.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's interesting.
Oh, cool.
Harley is obviously the best character on the show.
Sure.
Always.
It's only in subtitle. There is no dub.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Joker has a very weird design. Like he has like a smile like painted on his face. He drives a really cool car that's controlled by piano keys, and he's like playing.
That seems very anime.
That seems cool.
Oh yeah, it's very cool. It's very interesting. The ending is so goofy. It's like this, like kind of like a poppy Japanese idol kind of thing with Amanda Waller doing like weird like thirst trap poses.
Oh, jeez.
But it's Amanda Waller, so it's weird.
Yeah. So yeah.
Like she's like makes like weird faces and stuff.
Gotcha.
And, like it's so Peacemaker just looks like Peacemaker.
Of course.
Before he puts on his Peacemaker outfit, I didn't realize who he was because he was just a big buff white guy with a burlap sack over his face.
Oh.
Like, why are you wearing that? He's like, because if people see my face, it is a threat to peace or something like that.
Yeah. I love Peacemaker and his whole thing. I love peace so much. I will kill anyone
for peace.
Anyone I need to in order to
ensure
get world peace. Yeah.
I like that his friend is a bird.
Oh yeah, Eagle.
Oh, Eagle.
It's a terrible name for a bird.
I could think of worse names.
You could probably.
Yeah.
Chicken wing.
How about Charles Birdcley?
No, that's awful.
I contend that is a great bird name. That is my hill to die on.
Ethan Hawke.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I know, right?
I mean, Larry Bird.
Man. Oh,
just Larry Bird.
Larry Bird. Yeah, basketball player. Yeah.
What if you had a bird and you just named it Larry?
I think you'd get that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You could probably even call him Lawrence. Mm-hmm. And people would
Lawrence
get the
Bird.
Joke. Lawrence Bird.
Lawrence Bird.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I actually have an anime that I started as well. Have I ever talked about Go-Go Loser Ranger on the show?
We've mentioned it when it was first coming out.
Okay, yeah. I've watched the first couple episodes of it. It's pretty darn good.
For people who don't remember, this is a Sentai / Power Rangers themed anime.
Yes, but the protagonist is one of the
henchmen from the evil people.
Yeah, so at the start of the series, the evil organization has already, like aliens, they've already been defeated, but there is a whole cottage industry around the Power Rangers, the Sentai team. Mm-hmm. So they keep enough of the mooks alive and force them into dramatized battles every Sunday. And
weird.
Yeah, because the mooks have strong regeneration abilities. They don't die; they just regenerate.
And it creates an entertainment business that they get revenue from.
Yes, and the Rangers themselves are
corrupt,
very, very bad guys.
Duh.
And Fighter D decides, you know what? I've had enough of this. So he disguises himself as a human and infiltrates the organization of like trainee rangers and their ranger battalion. There's like a whole organization of like lower ranking Sentai members, and is trying to work his way up to be a member of the team so he can destroy it from the inside. And there's a whole bit of intrigue in there as well. It's pretty cool. It's pretty good.
I've been meaning to watch it.
It's very stylish and
I thought it looked really cool.
And I love how the main guy looks. He has the scarf kind of like Kamen Rider or Skullomania from the old Street Fighter games.
I thought all the henchmen kind of looked like Skullomania.
They do look yeah. But I've only watched a couple episodes of it, but I'm really enjoying it. And the American dub for the main Red Ranger, the main antagonist, is the same guy who does the voice of the main wolf in that show about the wolf in high school who falls in love with a rabbit. And there is...
Beastars.
Beastars. Jonah Scott, I think his name is.
Legoshi,
yeah. Yeah, same voice actor. And he does an excellent job with it.
I mean, as weird as Beastars is, the English dub of it is not bad. It's not bad. But it is a weird show, and it is kind of an uncomfortable watch.
I've never watched an episode of it. I've heard of it because I watch a lot of Drawfee. And there's one of the folks on that channel is a big fan. Is actually friends with Jonah Scott. He's been on the show a couple times.
Yeah,
and
he has.
Yeah. Oh man, that show is furry bait.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
There was another anime that came out about the same time as the first season of Beastars that also focuses on anthropomorphic animal people.
You mean Zootopia?
No. It was called Brand New Animal or BNA. It's on Netflix.
All right.
I thought that one was really good. It's fun. It's like kind of like an intrigue mystery kind of thing. Beastars has that too, but that payoff doesn't happen until like the end of season 2.
Yeah. Plus, I don't much care for like the high school drama stuff.
Yeah.
That I guess Beastars has a large portion of.
Yeah. The entirety of the first season of Beastars takes place in the academy or whatever. And then the second season kind of goes out into the greater Beast City or whatever.
You remember Bloody Roar, the fighting game?
I loved Bloody Roar.
Good stuff.
I was thinking
humans that turn into animals that fight.
Yeah, like
animal people,
like were people.
Yeah,
like were people.
Yeah, you do enough damage to your opponent, and then you can hit the Beasterize button.
Yeah, and you like Hulk out.
Didn't we play that at 16-bit?
I think we did. Yeah.
Like, I was just saying the other day, like, because all these, like, fighting games are getting either re-releases or remakes or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, it'd be really cool to see that come back.
It would be nice.
Either, like, bring it back, like, the old collection or make a new one.
That would be cool.
Like, come on.
Yeah. I want Darkstalkers to come back so bad.
I mean, there was the Capcom fighting collection.
There was the and I have that, and it's very good. But I would love to see a new
Darkstalkers,
or at the very least, put a Darkstalkers character or two into Street Fighter 6. I mean, they're getting Final Fight characters in there.
That's true.
So
just bring in the rest of the Capcom.
Just do it, yeah.
Just maybe step away from Street Fighter or something, and just make like a greater just a Capcom fighting game.
There was one, and it was horrible.
They could do it again because they probably could learn from their mistakes.
The mistake was they had like 4 or 5 different franchises that they pulled from, and the gimmick, the conceit was whatever games they pulled from, they had those mechanics. So like, and because some of the games they pulled from were newer, some characters were just inherently better. And had more options. Like the Ryu didn't have any kind of parry and could barely do combos because they pulled him from vanilla Street Fighter 2.
Oof.
Going up against people from like Third Strike and Red Earth. Do you remember Red Earth? And they just had so much extra stuff they couldn't compete.
Yeah. That's kind of like when you played Soul Calibur 2 on the PlayStation 2. Because you had Hayachi from Tekken, as the bonus character, as the guest character, and you could use the Tekken inputs on Hayachi versus the normal move set or control patterns for
too much
Soul Calibur.
Yeah, and he was overpowered. I think he was banned in like tournaments and stuff.
I did not care for him. Like Link in the GameCube version was fun and great, and Spawn in the Xbox version was great. Yep. Though I had a real broken combo with Spawn. I could insta-kill anybody.
Nice.
It was stupid.
Well, then the next one had Yoda and Darth Vader.
Yep. PS3 and 360 had...
This is a fantasy fighting game that had Yoda and Darth Vader as guest characters.
That's a good place for them to be.
Yeah. Well, I think they were advertising something. Was it...
Star Wars?
Episode 3?
It might have been it was either episode 3 or they were doing... something for what was the Sith Apprentice one?
Oh, The Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed, yeah.
Yeah, that would have been.
It was around that time.
That was about that time, yeah. I mean, Force Unleashed is a fun game.
That was an interesting game. You were Darth Vader's secret apprentice.
Oh.
And
named Starkiller.
Yeah. Depending on what unlocks you took, you could gain either Jedi or Sith powers, like you can get Sith lightning, or more Jedi like sword lightsaber tricks and stuff like that.
Like there was I think there were bonus missions, but they were like missions where you found like Luke and you could kill him. You could kill Han on.
It was an EU kind of thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
A lot of people keep talking about like, oh, why can't we make Starkiller, canon? Blah 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 blah.
It just wouldn't work.
I mean, it was kind of like the Jedi Fallen Order before there was a Jedi Fallen Order. Yeah. But obviously the Fallen Order games are a little better. They got better story.
They do. Yeah.
The Force Unleashed story is ankle deep at best.
Yeah. Nothing beats Master of Terras Kasai, the fighting game.
Man, I used to play that so much on the PS1.
So terrible. It was a Star Wars fighting game.
Oh.
Where you could play as Chewbacca with his bowcaster or
a stormtrooper.
A stormtrooper. Leia was in there.
Leia.
Wait, if you played as the stormtrooper, did you just miss all the time?
When I played it, yes.
Boba Fett had a move where you could just spam his jetpack rocket, and it was so broken.
Wasn't Mara Jade in that game?
Mara Jade. There was the original character who was the actual
Master of Terras Kasai.
Yeah, the actual Star Wars martial art. And she had like a cool droid arm.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah.
I don't remember the story. A Tusken Raider was a character. Yeah, that game was so... That was back in the day
It was jank.
That was back in the day of every Star Wars game was bad.
Yeah. That is what you would see at a major fighting game tournament being played on the sides.
Yeah, people just goofing off.
The money matches on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we've been knocked out of the tournament. I'm going to set up a TV over here. We're going to play some jank. Put $10 on it.
Hey, we need 3 people to lift this CRTV.
Basically. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, let's just go ahead and roll right into... We're not going to take a break.
Hey, let's go.
We're just going to roll right into the news here. Yeah.
This just in, we like to ramble.
We do like to ramble. We're rambling guys. And Jordan.
Hello.
All right, so let's jump into some things. I guess we can go ahead and talk about some of the major comic book themed shows and movie trailers.
Which
that is a mouthful.
Everything.
That's a mouthful. Yes. Let's start with Captain America.
So
New World Order.
Yes, a trailer came out for the new Captain America movie
Friday, like yesterday.
Yes. This is I guess you could say it's a sequel to Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Partway sequel.
But also, this is a post Steve Rogers, post Chris Evans Captain America movie.
And they're still talking about how, you're not Steve Rogers. I thought the entire point of
Falcon and Winter Soldier
was that, hey, I'm not going to be Steve Rogers. I'm doing this my own way.
Exactly. But whatever.
Maybe they had to put that line in for the people that didn't watch the show.
That's a good point.
Just in case you missed it, I'm not Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
Because if people don't remember, at the end of Endgame, Steve Rogers, who went back to the past and stayed in the past and got old, passed on the shield to Sam Wilson, a.k.a. the Falcon, as the next Captain America.
Right. They also had to put in a singular line explaining why William Hurt now looks like Harrison Ford.
Yes, because he passed away.
I wondered why Harrison Ford was in that trailer.
Yeah, yes. He's Thunderbolt Ross. He's anytime that there was the military guy that would show up, that's him.
He was in the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton. He was the main antagonist.
Abomination was the main.
Well, yes, but he was also the guy who helped create Abomination.
He was the main. I would say he's the main antagonist in Avengers Civil War or Captain America Civil War. Because he created the Sokovia Accords where you had to, if you were a superhuman, you had to register with the government or be thrown in jail.
Sure.
That was his thing.
Yes. He's the one that exposed them all at the end of...
No, he was basically their government liaison. You have to do this.
Yeah.
I am from the Pentagon. You have to do this.
Oh, okay.
No, the guy that exposed everyone was Baron Zemo.
Oh, okay.
Who was
in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, he was actually really funny in that.
Oh yeah, all those memes. He's out of line, but he's right.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole scene that takes place in a dance club, and he is, he's Sokovian in the show, but he's essentially German, and he's doing like one of those 90s like Art Nouveau like Vogue dancing. Like he had the black turtleneck on. He looked like
it kind of reminded me of Bully Maguire from Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, I was going to say this is an even deeper cut. Mike Myers on SNL. Sprockets.
Oh yeah!
Now it's time on Sprockets when we dance.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Yes. German expressionist talk show. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Well, anyway, this trailer looks really good. It doesn't really show too much other than, I'm the new Captain America.
And there's like
you're going to have to deal with it, America.
There's something going on.
Giancarlo Esposito is there for some reason.
And they've still not said who he is or what his role in.
They flashed 2 seconds of an accidentally divisive character that they're kind of saddled with for this movie. I'm only going to get into it very briefly because it bleeds heavily into real world politics, which is not this show. However, Marvel's defense, they started filming this years ago.
Mm-hmm.
This might have been a pre-COVID start. Even.
Oh, wow.
It might have been that long ago. They've been working on it for a while. And at the time, they were introducing like, okay, other countries are starting to come up with their own versions of Captain America. And one of them is a character named Sabra, who is from the comics, but she is a member of the Israeli Defense Force. Yes, she is essentially Captain IDF, which at the time when they started filming was maybe not quite a hot topic. It certainly is now.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff that the reason why it's taken so long for it to come out, of course, COVID, of course, but
reshoots.
A lot of reshoots to, from what I understand, drastically diminish the character's involvement in the film, but they can't take her completely out, unfortunately. Which, I mean, they could have.
Like, even in the comics themselves, she's kind of a controversial character.
She is pretty prejudiced against another
group of people,
and let us leave it at that. But the big thing at the end of it, you get 2 seconds of Red Hulk.
It's about time.
Yeah, Red Hulk.
Also, people can stop crying about Hulk not hulking things anymore.
Yeah, now we have angry Red Hulk who gets hotter as he, like, physically hot. No, let me try that. Let me try that one more time.
I think it's too late now.
No, you said it.
Oh yeah, he gets. Oh man,
Sam has a thing for Hulk.
Oh, what what can I say? I mean,
that is a Red Hulk.
Dang, check that out. No, Red Hulk gets heat-wise, he starts radiating more gamma radiation and is actually higher temperature. Body-wise.
Though it is going to be weird to see a weirdly CGI'd Harrison Ford face on a big Hulk body.
That's kind of a spoiler, but...
shoot.
No, it's all right. You know what? People are going to be talking about this because they've already cast the Thunderbolts movie, and they've said that Harrison Ford is in it playing Red Hulk. In the comics, Thunderbolt Ross, the guy who hates the Hulk more than anything...
The character that Harrison Ford is now playing.
He hates Hulk more than anything on Earth. Accidentally becomes a Hulk.
Oh no.
And his Red Hulk has a black hair and a black mustache. A big handlebar black mustache.
Weird.
He looks stupid.
But he's also smarter.
He
retains his intelligence.
And he's a military strategist in the body of a Hulk that gets hotter the angrier he gets. Also, I'm not correcting myself.
Also, his daughter was dating Bruce Banner.
Oh, yeah.
Betty Ross.
Betty Ross.
And in the comics, she eventually becomes a Red She-Hulk.
Yeah, that kind of... It starts spiraling out there a bit. But
yeah.
Anyway, and they also name drop Samuel Stearns, who was Tim Blake Nelson from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And also from The Incredible Hulk, where he was that little nerdy scientist that was helping Edward Norton out. And then got gamma blood into his head, and his head started going blah, 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 because he is the leader who is, what if Hulk was smart instead of strong. Like he has
evil.
A gamma brain, basically.
Yes. Also, he was the end credit. Well, he wasn't the end credit stinger. He was like the right before credit stinger of the Incredible Hulk.
It was the mid Abomination fight.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay. Because I remember the end credit scene was Thunderbolt Ross sitting in a bar licking his wounds and drinking, and then Robert Downey Jr. shows up.
And they have a snappy back to
and it's basically like, hey, we're building the Avengers.
Yeah. Yeah. Despite the Avengers actually being started in the 90s because of Captain Marvel. We got to fly through these last ones. We kind of rambled a bit, which is fine. I like the ramble shows. So we watched a trailer for Agatha All Along, the other sequel to WandaVision. I guess Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is kind of a sequel.
It feels like all of the TV shows following WandaVision was a sequel to WandaVision. Was the first and arguably the best. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
so
and Marvel has been chasing that
high ever since.
They got close, in my opinion. They got close with She-Hulk, but a lot of people didn't like it.
She-Hulk's so fun, though.
It was fun, but people didn't like it for specific reasons, I guess.
They're done with bad opinions.
Yeah, but if you ask me, I like Catherine Hahn a lot. I like the character of Agatha Harkness from WandaVision.
She was a lot of fun.
This show feels like it is about 3.5 years too late.
Oh, yeah. Easily. Easily.
It should have come out right after WandaVision while everybody was like,
while the iron was still hot.
I was going to say, this is striking while the iron is ice cold.
And hasn't been touched in years.
We'll have to wait and see. It did look like there is a teen that physically resembles Marvel character Wiccan, who has a very convoluted backstory with the Scarlet Witch. Basically, when her twin sons were poofed out of existence, that soul actually went into another person's body and was born from another person. So, kind of, sort of, Wanda's kid with magic powers, but also not DNA-wise.
It's real weird. The character itself has a really weird, because when the character first premiered, it was in the Young Avengers comic line, and he was called the Asgardian.
Right, because he only did lightning magic.
Yes. Because the whole thing was, these are the Avengers, but these are all kids.
Yeah.
You had the Patriot, who was Captain America. You had Iron Lad, Asgardian, Hulkling, and I feel like I'm missing one.
No, those were the 4. They eventually added Kate Bishop as Hawkeye too.
Yeah.
And
they phased Iron Lad out because he turned out to be an Ultron.
Not Ultron, Kang.
Was he Kang?
Teen Kang time traveling from the future, but not too far in the future to be Kang. Teen Kang realized his future was to become a time traveling despot and didn't want to do that, so he went back in time and disguised himself as a teenage Iron Man.
Huh.
Yeah, but it broke the future.
Sure, as it does.
Yes.
But Marvel's all full of time hijinks.
It's a mess. There were some behind the scenes shots of Superman Legacy showing the James Gunn.
Yes, the James Gunn Superman movie. Which, okay, one, I love the Superman costume. It's great.
He's got the underpants on the outside
classic.
Again, and it's good.
It's classic.
Yes,
and it looks great. But they also showed behind the scenes stuff of Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern Guy Gardner.
Yep.
We saw Hawkgirl without her wings being held up by rope.
Oh, rope and someone in a blue man jumpsuit.
A blue man jumpsuit. And also Mr. Terrific in a weird hover chair being held up by rope.
Because his power is he's crazy smart.
He's crazy smart and builds things and whatnot.
Yeah. People were a little put off by their costumes. The theory is that they are previously established heroes, so there have been heroes before Superman, and they are like a corporate-owned super team. They're owned by, or they're financed by Maxwell Lord. That name sounds familiar. That was Pedro Pascal in Wonder Woman 84, but it's not. He's not going to be played by Pedro Pascal.
Well, yeah, that whole universe. That whole universe is in the can.
That whole thing is done.
It never, that doesn't matter anymore.
Yes, but some of the backup shots, they look really good. There's actually a picture of Superman in a hole in the ground up to his shoulders, like he's been punched from the sky down into the ground. So, like,
I'm wondering if it was like Hawkgirl with her mace.
The theory is there is Lex Luthor creates a Superman clone for the government, and he starts off okay, and then
becomes Bizarro.
And then becomes Bizarro by the end of the movie, which is a great plot.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Oh, yeah. And the fact that we're going to if we get a Bizarro, I would love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a bold choice going with Guy Gardner as a Green Lantern.
They are, this corporate team is patterned after Justice League International, which was the comedy 80s Justice League team. That was where Guy Gardner was a hero.
Yes, and Guy Gardner infamously being the redheaded, angry Green Lantern.
He's the angry, stupid one.
Yes, he is the angry, stupid one with a cool jacket.
Mm-hmm. He got punched out by Batman in one punch.
That was great.
Yeah.
I love that scene.
Yes, it's super,
he
super
deserved
good.
it too, because he was straight.
He was like, you know what, Batman, I'm going to fight you. I'm going to take off my ring. We're just going to do this man-to-man. Batman just bop.
Cold clocks him right there.
Him. Yeah.
You can't fight. He's a master martial artist. He's literally a ninja.
Oh, he didn't even ninja him. He just
punched him.
He just punched him once and knocked him out.
I am curious on who the CGI character is going to be, the guy in the blue suit.
I honestly think that he was there to help hold up Wonder Woman, unless that is Metamorpho.
Wonder Woman?
No, not Wonder Woman. Hawkgirl. Sorry, Hawkgirl. I was thinking of Wonder Woman 84. The theory is either he was just someone there to kind of help hold her up while they're filming on the rope, or he is going to be playing Metamorpho, the Element Man.
That would be a weird one.
Yes.
We haven't seen that one in a movie yet.
And it's great because I love Metamorpho. He has a stupid look, and he can turn any part of his body into any element.
Nice.
Yes. Yep, he can be gas, he can be solid, he can be all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm. And before that, he was an archaeologist named Rex Mason.
Yeah. Yeah, he has really. I love DC characters, and I love DC.
Their stupid names.
Why do they always have such dumb names?
Because they're all created in the 60s.
Oh, that's fair.
Yep.
I was just on the IMDb. They put Christopher Reeve's son is in Superman.
Yes.
I think that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. He's like because his son is a reporter in real life now.
Yeah, it says TV reporter is his name in the movie too.
Yeah, so and apparently he looks just like him.
He does.
Ooh, do you think?
Because I was like, wow, that guy looks like Christopher Reeve.
You don't think he'll be a Jimmy Olsen, will you?
No, there's already a Jimmy Olsen.
Okay, so it might be just this is kind of like a cameo kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like when they put Carrie Fisher's daughter.
Yes.
And Alec Guinness's granddaughter.
I have a feeling there's going to be like a montage of like news people from around the world reporting on what's going on, and there's going to be a cut to him as one of them.
Do you think he'll use his name of like or whatever his name is, Reeves or whatever?
Oh, probably. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's a nice little Easter egg.
It's a nice little nod.
Yeah.
All right, well, hey, we have actually hit time, so let's go ahead and wrap things up for the week. Jordan, thank you again for being on the show.
You're welcome.
It was a pleasure. We'll have to get you back on sometime soon.
Anytime.
All right. So you've been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com.
You can also follow our social media, our Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, or support our Patreon at links.nerdoverload.com.
Yep, you can email the show, staff@nerdoverload.com.
You can call or text the hotline, 419-561-5556.
I'm still waiting for someone to call and tell me what I'm wrong about. I want to know. Correct me.
Come on, where's our actuallys?
Give me the
people?
actuallys. Give me you're wrong and here's why. I want it. You can find us on various podcast apps, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and our YouTube. We do have a YouTube. And finally, I'd like to thank David Pencil for the use of our intro and outro, Parker for helping us out over at the Facebook page, and again, Jordan Taylor for being on the show. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and we will be back next week.
Pizza in.